what the challenges are and what the successes have been.
Yeah, Fred, the truth is, 15 years doing the same thing, you should be an expert by all standards. If I stay in class for 15 years, I should complete a few courses in that school by all standards. So Kenya, having the 2010 constitution, we should now know what has worked and what has not worked. And we should be easy and accept what has not worked is this, and what do we do to now make it work, or do we do away with it completely and put in something that works? Because some of these things were quick fix for political expediency. So number one, devolution was more looked at not from the Mbai's perspective. It was people like Mbai who came up with the whole concept, had a good idea, and I agree with Dr. Makali, devolution still is a good thing. But the political class gave it more of a political lens than the economic and otherwise. So the political lens worked well at that time because if us in Migori we have a county, that's a good thing. Like, it was the best thing that ever happened. We are now a county. We will have our governor, we will have our senator, women rep, and all that. That was really nice. But looking at the economy later, even the governors had to now, because right now, let me use my county, Migori, for example. If Ochilo Ayako, the governor, does a certain road, and that road, let's say the ring road, for example, in the Lake Victoria, because Lake Victoria is a huge economic hub for the people living around that area, including the rest of the country. But you don't have access, so you do the road, the ring road on Lake Victoria, just the part of Migori, and then Honorable Gladys Wanga does not do it in Homa Bay, Anyang' Nyong'o does not do it, or Anyang' Nyong'o does it in Kisumu, and Orengo does not do it, and the Busia does not do it. That road is still useless. Economically, it is not serving any purpose. So that road needs to do all the way from Migori to Busia and extend completely to the borders. Then we will be able to say this road is now giving access to business from Uganda or Busia all the way to Migori, crossing to Tanzania. But those are some of the things we didn't look at. So it has forced governors to form now the economic blocks to even see if they can mediate and all that. That is one. So it is time, 15 years later, that we should look at us in the eye and say, what has worked in the devolved government and what has not worked? Number two, quickly, we need to also check even the presidency. You know, the whole thing about the presidency was to devolve some powers because the whole country was like choking, and we were like, we need some powers to be taken away from presidency and devolve somewhere else, because the president before the 2010 constitution was almighty, yeah, too powerful. But I bet I will be corrected by Akina Honorable Kirwa, who are on the table. Maybe we created two centers of power without knowing, because we were obsessed by devolving powers. So this thing of deputy president elected with you in the ticket. So if he becomes a thorn, you have to deal with it, because the only way is impeachment by parliament. And that will require you to actually go the route where we had discussed at the beginning, where we are going to marshal parliament to give us what we want. And sometimes might force you as the head of state to go corrupt, to get these people to impeach this thorn in your flesh. So it's like you are stuck with him or her. But again, before that, you could dish out deputy presidency or vice presidency anyhow. Like Honorable Kirwa has not done what I want. He is going home. I am picking Dr. Makali Mulu. Dr. Makali Mulu has to sing my song whatsoever. So Kenyans were also bored with that. So I think we are 15 years later, we have tested the other one, and we have tested this. It is time to look at ourselves in the eyes and say, what do we want? Do we want a deputy president that is more like another center of power within presidency or not?
Okay.
Then the last one will be the CDF. I have a serious issue with CDF and even the education. If the policy of government is to give our children free education in high school and primary, I am not sure Dr. Magali will guide me as a member of parliament and probably have been in this for some time. Give me a way that this will make sense to me as a common mwananchi. If we have 1 billion to take care of our children's education, why do we take this 1 billion to give you as a member of parliament, and then you give me as a mwananchi in the bursary check, and then I take it back to the school, which is a government school? Make it make sense for me. Why don't you put a budget to that school and ask me, as your electorate, take your son or your daughter to school. The money is paid.
Right.
So when you have 1 billion and it is given to members of parliament and then members of parliament gives us as a check, it is not ending up in school as 1 billion. It might end up in school as 800 million because they are overhead cost, the admin cost. You have a constituency bursary team and officers are 290 with members of those committees. So I think somebody has not made it make sense to me. Then the second thing, we have traded a lot of words on when it comes to CDF, NGCDF. We moved it from CDF to NGCDF, but even made members of parliament look like they are just guiding, they are not directly involved. It is having its committees, they are just patrons of the fund. But still the question begs, how do you oversight the fund that you are a patron to? Yes. When it has done a school, and it is very well, it is okay to link you with that. When the Auditor General questions something on it, you are not part of it. It has its own committee. Yes. So we need to agree 15 years later, are we still having CDF in the manner it is, or we are doing away?
And this conversation, and I think it has been lost, it was lost in the fray when the president talked about corruption in parliament. Because that same day when he spoke that, his ally, the former prime minister,